Hi, Tina. Nice to see you. Hello, Alan.
Same here.
Hi, Peter.
So, John?
This is AlanJE Edwards right now. You got all these balls in the air.
A few more, yes.
My goodness gracious, every time I talk to you, Alan, I just think,
Yes, you're right, Peter. Yeah, you're right. Too many.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Too many and too hot.
Yes.
Too hot in Sweden?
No, the things going up on in the world. Too many things that are sweating us.
Sure.
No, it's not too hot here. It's 5 degrees Celsius.
Hey, Peter, before we begin, I got to share something everybody already knows. But if you doubt for one moment engaging with the comments on LinkedIn is a waste of time, you're sadly mistaken. I just had someone reach out to me, Peter, and say, please send me your calendar link. I mean, I don't know how much better it could get than that. So
that's what it's all about, Mark. I agree with you. I truly agree with you. And in fact, the more you can promote everybody else, the more people come back to you.
yeah, you don't do it for that, but that's kind of what happens. So
I don't have any expectation for it, but Dr. Robert Cialdini got it absolutely right with the law of reciprocity, right?
all reciprocity.
The more you give without any expectation, without any hidden agenda, okay? Play the long game, things will happen to you, okay? Tina knows that. That's the game she plays. She knows that. Yeah.
It's a smart game
working
to
on
play.
it.
Absolutely.
Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to session number 6. I'm going to start if you're not going to do it, John. This is session number 6 of our small business breakthroughs clinic, workshop, family, anything else but group, whatever you want to call it, community, right? And our topic for today is, what have we been talking about for the last 5 weeks? So, and we have covered a lot of territory. And Alan, I will totally understand and accept if you can't get your head around these things because your head is full of so many other things right now. So
Yeah, true.
I'm just so delighted to actually see you here, right? Because you haven't got much time on your hands anyway. So thank you.
No, thank you, Peter. Thanks, John, and everyone on the call. I'd love to make this call every week.
Good.
Good stuff.
So we've talked about a whole lot of things. And I don't want to sit here and dominate the scene. I'd like to hear, what would people like to know more about? Oh, before I forget.
A flood of information comes in, right?
Sometimes I can't help myself, Tina. So
To me,
do
just
me a
all of
favor.
it.
Do me a
Just
favor. Go into
go.
Google. Go into Google. Do it now. Go into Google. Can you do that while you're talking to me? Go into Google and put Google, just search Google image FX. FX. Google's just released this. This is an AI created image creator that is so darn realistic you would swear it's they're real photos. Have you found it when you go into Google?
It's been searched so many times I didn't have to put anything but the word Google in it.
Okay.
Open it up.
Because what it does, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yep.
This is a prompt you put in, right? I'll give you an example. A lovely middle-aged business lady. I'll go even further. From Sweden, not you, Annika. From Sweden.
I'm not middle-aged, I'm old age.
Oh, be polite. Who is in her office and on her laptop and is worried because she has no customers, all right? And you can go on and on.
The worried is wrong spelled, but that maybe doesn't.
Then I just click create. And you can put more in there. The more you put in that prompt, the better the picture is. Just give it about 15 seconds. I don't know whether that's a very good prompt. I just made that up as I went along. But anyway.
Thank you.
There they are. Pretty good, huh? So then all you do, you go up here, put your mouse on it and click download. Download, download, download. Or if you don't like them, change the prompt and then create again. So there's, I'll put this now, copy, and I'll stop sharing. And I'll put this in the chat. That's my bit of technology for the day, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, oh, one more. Sorry, one more. Another thing I found was this thing where you can create videos from text. Would you be interested in that? How to make a video out of, you put the text in and it creates a video for you?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's interesting.
Okay,
Sounds
well, hang on.
fun.
Hang on. Good. Here, can you see that now?
Mm-hmm.
Generate AI videos from text. You just put the text in there and create the video. Now, there's a free version, and then you can pay to get more extras in it, etc., etc. And I'll just put, there's the link for it. I'll put this in the chat.
Yeah, that looks good, Peter. There's another one that does that, which is called Descript, DESCRIPT, which I've tried, and that's also good. Yeah.
Okay.
There is a great ability to be able to create videos from text. I'd like to do a lot more of that because I've got a lot of blog posts that I need to turn into videos.
Right. Right. Okay, so there are two things I just thought you might be interested in looking at, okay?
Yes, I haven't seen that one before. Thank you.
That
Could
one,
you put your link, Alan, the one that you had, that you
Yes,
used?
yeah.
You can put
Yeah,
that in
of
here too.
Yeah, sure.
good. And by the way, what Mark was talking about is very true. There is no doubt about it. And I'm so pleased you shared that, Mark, because that's a real example of what happens if you do it properly. Okay, when you are commenting. No, first of all, this is my gut feel, and I'm not an expert. I don't pretend to be an expert on LinkedIn at all. Okay, I don't want to be that sort of person. But when I do a post, I do it as an individual. I don't do it as a business. I do it as me, always me. And I poke fun at myself sometimes, or I sometimes admit I've made a mistake and I've done things wrong in the past. Everything else to try and be as vulnerable as I can so people can see you as a real person. And then when I'm commenting on, and Mark, you know, when I'm commenting on Mark's video or post, for example, I'll just say it from my heart. This is what I think, right? Boom, 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 boom. And the more you are, the more that you talk to people, and Annika and I have had many conversations via comments on posts, right? And Annika, you're getting really good at this, really good at it, okay? And it's got nothing to do with it. Yeah, but it's got nothing to do with how many comments you got on your post, but it does increase the visibility of that post. There's no doubt about that, right? because LinkedIn will share that post saying, Dr. Annika Sörensen's post is now is creating a lot of attention. You'll get a message from that. Okay, she's got 25 comments on there or whatever it may be. Okay, So LinkedIn will help you if you do it that way. But what Mark is alluding to, and this is the bit I want to get clear, is that when you do it properly, when you really are genuine in the way that you leave a comment and you talk with people in your comments, right? People see that. And I will give, if Tina makes a comment and I like that comment, I will give her a little heart or a support emoji, or whatever you call those darn things, right? And maybe you can make a comment on that, etc. And the more you can do that on your post and other people's posts, the more it draws attention of you to other people, and they see that. And that's why they reached out to you, Mark, right? Because they see you are a giver. They see who you really are. You're a person who's not trying to bait and switch people, right? You really genuinely try to help and support and give acknowledgement to people and help them. And that really is how LinkedIn works.
That's interesting you brought that up, Peter. There was a comment, I put a comment in on a person's post the other day that was about that male swimmer in the girls' competition and how keeps winning all the contests. So I put my 2 cents worth in, and some people liked it, some people didn't. And one of the things I put in there, which caused quite a little stir, I said, this is knocking women back 50 to 75 years in all the stuff they've fought and everything else for. I said, before long, women are going to lose the vote. Man, did that cause a bunch of excitement. There was a whole lot of people got all excited about it. And a couple of them sent me rather less than complimentary deals. And I used Pat Dryer's thing. I said, your opinion of me is none of my business. And clicked out. And that got some other people excited, like, you got to care what I say. I said, I don't give 2 hoots what you think. This is my opinion. You're welcome to yours, and you can put it wherever you want.
Sure you didn't put the word hoots there.
No, I was thinking that, but I didn't. I didn't put it in there.
In the chat, by the way, I just put something else in there. Okay, I don't know whether you can see it. It's called 5 Habits to Fill Your Empty Calendar. All right. These are 5 things I do every day. And I just thought I'd share it with you. Now, I said more than I should. Over to you.
This is really important. You know, this AI stuff, ladies and gentlemen, listen, be authentic. Stop relying on the AI for all this stuff. The people want to get to know, you know, it's kind of like, can you imagine if you set up a date from somebody and they sent a replacement? What, you know, be authentic. Reach out and connect. Peter, you are a master at this. And I got to be honest, I just model you. I notice when somebody does anything, accomplishes anything, says anything, you just have some fantastic, nurturing, inspiring, impactful words. That's what it's about. And you don't have to be super eloquent. Yeah. Just speak from your heart. You know, there's so much AI generated content now on LinkedIn. It's pathetic. And people can see through that. And they're like, and they wonder, well, why am I not getting engaged? Why? Because you're not really being authentic. Yeah, that's what people want. These gurus and guruettes, they're almost so far up, they're out of touch. If you'll notice something, and I want to put them all in a box, but have you noticed when you comment on a guru's post, they almost never respond? Because it gets so many responses. Well, this is an opportunity for you and I to connect with people who are in our ideal target market.
Yeah.
And like I said, Peter, if anybody's watching this, you go to Peter's profile on LinkedIn and watch how he does this. He's very masterful at it. Like I said, he's my coach, mentor, friend, and I just model him. It's not difficult, but that's what it's about. Be authentic. And authentic might mean you only feel 3 or 4 or 5 words. Say that. Don't go to AI and say, give me a cut. No, stop that nonsense. Be authentic.
I agree. I agree. I use AI not to create posts. I use AI, like I said there, because things like images and things, all right? I do that. Or I use AI to give me titles. Give me a title I can give to something I'm trying to do, okay? Give me 10 attention-grabbing titles that are curiosity-driven, that are controversial, that whatever you want, okay? And put them in question format, and I'll just keep boom, 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 okay? Until I finally find one that hits the button. But I never use anything from, for example, ChatGPT as a post. When I write a post, I'm a bit naughty in a way, but not as naughty as John, because John does.
The king of naughty.
He's authentic.
John is more authentic than me, yeah, because he just says it as, sometimes I say bloody this and bloody that, okay, which I should do it, but that's how I feel, and that's what I'm just writing as if I'm talking to you. And when I create a post, I'm talking to Alan. I'm talking to one person in the post, not talking to the whole of LinkedIn. I just have one person in my head and I write to them. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I write exactly as I speak.
I do too, but it's got a lot of beeps in there.
I wonder why.
You never misquoted, John. I'll tell you.
So I use AI to write my post from my post. I'll write it, but I catch myself that I'm writing so fast that I skip this, that, or the other. So I copy and paste it into AI. It cleans it up. And then once I re-put it where I want it, because I make my post in advance, then I go back through and take out AI's wording because I don't like AI's words. It uses words I don't use. So I will take out and replace my words with it so that it is mine. It's just put in better grammar.
Yeah. Okay, that's well said, Tina. Well said. I mean,
Yeah,
even
and-
today, for example, I did a post and I used an AI generated thing from Google FX. I used this lady who had glasses on, and I can't remember the post, whatever it was. Okay. But even in the post, I said, full disclosure, this lady is not Maggie, the person I'm talking
Yeah, I
about.
saw that. Yeah.
I've been totally open. I mean, I don't have a photo of my client sitting in the cafe, right? So I didn't want people to think. So all you're doing is being as honest as you can, right? Anyway.
Yeah, and it's,
by the way, sorry, I'll shut up now.
No, I was going to say that since I started this journey here, it's so obvious what you should write and shouldn't. And I do, like you said, you can go to this place in LinkedIn where you have these birthdays and celebrations and I kind of skim through that and send. I have pre-made messages that I click in, correct, only put the name and so on and change the years and all those things. And because random people pop up there, and some of those are people that I have been connected with since 2011 way back and never more touched on. And I can see what I wrote or what they wrote back then, and also in the newer time, that is not what's supposed to be there. Because it is like, so I am, and they say I am back.
You know, I'm glad
So now
you said that.
I do write these little things, and all of a sudden I get these thank you when I celebrate someone. I say happy birthday and don't forget to celebrate because celebration is good for your health. So they say,
Yeah.
come back and say, oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I did take a walk today, or whatever it is. So people that I am connected to for many years, some of them I don't do celebrate or send anything to because there are people that I really don't need to connect with again in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, because Annika's talking about the My Network thing when people celebrate their birthdays or whatever. And LinkedIn does a good job because it gives you the right age and the day or the job they're at or whether, all that stuff, right? And I personalize that. But the other thing is this: if I do that and I discover when I send the message that there was a message from me 5 years ago they haven't responded to me on, right? I will stick that in there as well. By the way, Tina, we haven't spoken for 5 years. Should we stay connected or what? And I'll
Yeah,
say
sometimes I do put personal other personal remarks too.
I'll say that. Should we stay connected or what? Now, if you don't respond to it, I'll disconnect with you anyway. So I use it to clean up my list as well, because to me, my connections on LinkedIn are my little black book. They are people who I want to either be as potential clients, referral partners, or centers of influence, or people I work with, such as John and Mark, okay? They're the people I want to be connected with. But in the early day, I mean, I don't know how many I've got. Not as much as some of you people, but I've got about 5,000 followers. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember. But whatever they are, there's a lot of people in there I shouldn't be talking to. I shouldn't have them on my list. So
Alan's got his hand up.
Yeah, thank you, John. Yeah, I just wanted to make the point that I like actually networking on groups like this, where you can actually get to know people personally and also make connections where you've got mutual interests. And I made one connection over the weekend. I was on a 3-day event, which was all to do with property. And I announced that we were doing this charity project, which is to send supplies to Ukraine. And a lady actually made connection with me. And I've just had a chat with her this morning, and we've got an awful lot in common regarding venture capital that she's involved in and projects that she's got going on all around the world. And if I hadn't actually been on that event, and if I hadn't said what I said, and that was a little bit difficult because I'm having a few difficulties with my computer at the moment, so I won't bore you with all the details. But anyway, just by point of participating in a dialogue like we're doing today, you can get people who actually make contact with you. And Tina and I have had a discussion as well since last time, and we find things that we have in common, and it's more real than actually just exchanging messages or having a sort of impersonal contact. That's all I'd like to say. Yeah.
So Alan, and I mean, don't forget, look in the chat there. I put that thing about the 5 habits you can do that helps you fill your pipeline, right? Because that's what I do every day.
Yes.
But
yes, thank you. Yeah.
But with you on LinkedIn,
I'm also a follower
actually,
of yours, like Mark, Peter. I'm your second biggest fan.
Pretty must be cold.
Alan, quick question for you, Alan. Have you got some steel-toed boots?
To be honest, no, not at the moment, but I know I need them for site work. Yes, definitely.
I was going to say, if you had some steel toe boots,
Yeah.
line your computer up and reboot it.
Right. Yes. I feel like that just at the moment, John, because it's driving me mad, this computer. I had the speakers replaced by the people in the local specialist computer shop, and the sound on my computer is always distorted. So I participate in an event and I can't hear what people are saying. That's why I'm always on my phone these days. So I feel like booting my computer, definitely. Good suggestion.
The reason I
Good morning, Jeff. How you doing, bud?
Sorry, hi, Jeff. The reason I put that in the chat is because this week I've had conversations with two people, and both these people, right, are waiting for people to check to book a time with them.
Mm-hmm.
They honestly believe that as long as I do a post on LinkedIn, right, then that's all I need to do. People will seek me out.
Funny stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they live in a fool's world. They live in like an employee. That's what it amounts to, right? And in fact,
one a week or one a month, Peter.
right? Anyway.
And you sent her a picture of a box about the size of a person with some flowers on it, put RIP on it, right?
I'm not a substitute, John Allen.
Peter, can I share a quick story?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I think this is really, really powerful. I just recently had a relative get out of the hospital. And because the situation was a little dicey, I sent 3 pepperoni pizzas to the floor. And I will guarantee you that created more buzz than the ads that came on the local radio or the TV that they weren't watching anyway because they were busy doing their job. So the point is, when people feel you're authentic, have you noticed when you're scrolling LinkedIn, you could see a corporate ad a mile away. It looks polished and everything, and the way they talk, and you're saying, okay, somebody put this together for them and they're running that ad. Nobody's paying attention to that kind of stuff. People want to know you and I, who we are, what we're about. Let me see some of your flaws. Let me see you're a human being. That's what's happening. Now, just think if I were a company that sold perfume and I gave every nurse in the entire building a 32-ounce sample. What do you think would happen to the business long term? You think those women won't dab that stuff, tell their friends, jump on social media, tell their friends after work, tell their neighbors, tell their besties, tell their siblings? Of course they will. And yet these companies would rather spend $10 million on some slick thing put together by some agency who really doesn't even care, know that much about the company. So the point that I'm trying to get is when you connect with people and really connect, that's what it's all about.
One of the things you mentioned, Peter, and Mark brought it up too, when people's website and all that looks super slick. Again, these website designers get to win prizes and trophies and all that stuff for making fancy sites. The majority of them don't know a thing about sales, but they can sure build you a pretty site and win awards and all the rest of the stuff. So I talk to people and say, you don't need the prettiest site. Again, be authentic. And I say to people, when you have a problem, you're scrolling. Do you really give a damn what the person's logo is? No. Do you care what their picture looks like? No. Do you care the name of their business? No. Your big thing is, can they solve my problem? And I mention to people, put on your site, what problem do you solve? Because that helps, that promotes the right people for you, but it also eliminates the ones that aren't. So, you know, you encourage and discourage at the same time. It's something that a lot of sites don't do. and they put a site up and they try to be everything to everybody with the site. They want it to be information, they want it to be sales, they want it to be, you name it, rather than a specific purpose. So that's something to keep in mind. You're going to have more than one site, but again, you know, what is the purpose for your site? Jeff's good at this. You know, he can tell you about that.
I can tell you guys, my site broke 3 or 4 years ago. I didn't bother to fix it. I haven't got a website now. I don't need one. However, I also tell my potential clients, listen, your client is like your one beer I've had. Your website is like a department store. When I go there as a layman, you know it intimately. I know shit about it. So when I go there, I'm sort of trying to look around. What's this button do? What's this button do? And as you know, guys, when you click one button, it takes you away from the whole thing. So you're running in a different area completely, right? So you can get lost. I tell people, don't send people to your website. Send them to your calendar. Be a human, talk to them. That's the key, guys. I made a lot of money by talking to people. Speaking of talking to people, guys, most of you are not doing it, but I'll tell you, it's super easy to do. Start doing podcasts. I'm having so much fun with these podcasts. I'm picking up lots of clients, number one. And more importantly, I'm learning from all these people. Every one of them teaches me something. I had the other day, unbelievable. I got a shock in my life. A good-looking kid, a 19-year-old kid got on, and he alleges, and I believe him, he makes $1 million a year helping speakers get speaking gigs. And some of his speakers are $100 grand a pop, right? And then I thought, okay, so I checked him out more. When I went to his LinkedIn profile, I couldn't believe it. It was black and white. It was really simple. Something like, we help speakers, then we get speakers jobs. If you want to help with your speaking, it was really simple. It was just dead set simple. And it made me rethink my whole my LinkedIn's a mess, but it made me rethink my whole LinkedIn strategy and all of my client strategies, because he made it simple. What he does is he helps speakers, you know, and it was, like I say, he was a 19-year-old kid, but he was a bloody super kid. Unbelievable. You know, shocked me. Yeah, that's my 2 bops with it, guys.
The thing about that part is our brains like simplicity. You hear this big, long, fancy statement and everything else, people can't remember it. You've got a short, simple little saying like we help speakers or whatever, right? Your brain says, wow, they can picture that.
Yeah,
So that's one thing, you know, that's one thing to think about. Dan Kennedy, I know the majority of you have all heard of it. You know, he charges $100 grand to write a sales letter and he wants 10% royalties for as long as you use it. When he first started, one of the guys who became his laughed. He said he's never paid anybody so much money as he's paid Kennedy. He ordered some of Kennedy's material. He said he gets this binder. The cover page on the outside has been photocopied, wasn't even centered. All the pages in the book have been photocopied. There's spelling mistakes, there's whatever. And there's a set of audio cassettes. And he said he was going to send everything back to Kennedy, paid $295 or whatever, but he decided to listen to these cassettes first. And then he said, I've gone on to give Kennedy so much money, it isn't funny. But again, the message was simple. It wasn't fancy, all done up. Obviously, Kennedy's improved over the years. But again, it's like that 19-year-old kid. It's simplicity. It attracts the right people and it distracts the others.
By the way, guys, Dan Kennedy writes all my material for free. For free. You want to know how? Anyone put their hand up? Anyone wants to know how I get it done for free?
Yeah.
We got one. We got 2. 2 only. I'm surprised. How I do it? I go into ChatGPT and say, write this like Dan Kennedy, and it does. It writes it the way Dan Kennedy would. It's unbelievable. Right, and I use a David Ogilvy. I use all different ones, you know, just for like outstanding. I can't write like that. I can't even spell. But I get outstanding copy. People comment all the time about my copy. Like, well, you know, and I take away all the bloody bullshit trumpets and hearts. And I mean, people may still know it's written by AI. I don't care whether they do or not. But I don't I take away all the bullshit things, you know, the lie content things, and just put it up there, you know. And it's written by Dan Kennedy. And it's awesome stuff. I can't write as good as that. So there's
You know,
one.
I'm waiting. I mean, I saw on the news the other day that if you pay Donald Trump $5 million, you can have a one-on-one conversation with him, right? So I'm waiting for people to give me $5 million so I can have a one-on-one conversation, but I'm not getting any takers. But I keep doing it because I'm just stirring the pot in the nicest way possible. I know, John, you do it better than I do, but I'm learning from you.
You know, I just changed the words just a little bit. You know, put a couple 4-letter words in there like SHYT. You're full of.
No, you wouldn't do that.
Actually, Peter saw me do that to a gentleman on a call we were on. This guy thought he was king shit of Turd Island, and he was telling us how great, grand, and wonderful he was. And come time we put in our comments, and I said to the gentleman, "You're full of shit." And got the guy upset. He told me I was like a bull in a china shop, and I thanked him for that. I said, "You're right, I can be." And he never came back. I don't know why. Peter was the ultimate gentleman to this guy. And the other gentleman that brought him in there, he was a little upset with my remarks, but such is life. And the other gentleman that brought him in, he would go on and on and on, like we were talking about earlier today, and say a whole lot of nothing. And I told him on numerous occasions he was full of shit. And he'd get all upset with me, and then he kept coming back. And I said, "Well, why did you come back?" He said, "Because you tell it how it is."
I kept going like this.
I said, you know, what you see is what you get. I'm not the right person for everybody. Don't profess to be. And if you don't like my attitude, don't call. That's the way I look at it. Like it's, you know, it's no problem. Just don't call. So, you know, that's just the way it is. Like, be you. You don't have to try and be somebody you're not. Be yourself.
I had a very interesting one, guys. I had a gentleman out of Perth, Australia. Nice guy. He's a business coach of all things, and a fairly good one. However, when I look at all his material, it looks like he spent a lot of money buying what I call cookie cutter stuff from other coaches, right? And he's trying to adapt it and put it into his own sort of program. Anyway, I thought he'd reach out to me very early in the piece, but we had 3 chats, and I finally got him over the line about maybe 3 months later. I didn't care one way or the other, but I just knew I could help him, but you know, he wasn't playing ball. Anyway, he finally comes good and he joins up. Lo and behold, you know, what pisses me off, 3 days in, he's asking me, "Oh, where's the results? You know, what's happening? You know, I'm not getting any leads. You know, what are you doing with these posts?" And rah, rah, rah. He's really into us, right? And I thought, what the fuck? You know, really, I did. I thought, you know, give me a break. I'm still doing the research. You know, I had to tell him, like, when you build a house, you've got to have a foundation. So you've hired me to do the job. If you think you can do it better than me, well, so be it. I'm debating what to do with him at the moment. I think I will continue, but I thought about doing my very, very best for him for a month, show him what I can do, get him a result, and then say, "See you later. I don't want to help you any further. You know, you're not my avatar. Goodbye." Just to prove the point to him. However, I'll just see what happens. But I was bloody pissed, you know, because give me a break. You know, we do some good stuff for our clients, but we need a couple of days to put it together. You know, we can't do it overnight. We don't wave a magic wand. So I don't know whether any of you guys, Mark or Peter, have had that type of experience with you've got a client, they're sort of like a bull at the gate the next day.
Oh, God, yes. I mean, I had one today.
What,
No names, no
he's paid, and then he wants you to do the results overnight.
Well, I told him this is not a done for you service.
Yeah, that's why I say it's done with you, not you know. We help you. We don't run your business for you.
This is how this session started today. We got on the Zoom call. Okay, Let's call him Fred. That's not his name, eh? Hi, Fred. How are you? Good. He didn't say another word. I said, okay, so Fred, where are we up to? He said, so he said, that's not what we're doing today. I said, what are we doing today? He said, I need you to make sure that I get more sales. I said, good. That's what it's all about. But let's talk about the activities you're doing. You're not doing anything. Not doing anything. And that's the reason I said earlier, this guy is sitting around waiting for people to call him. Right? It doesn't work that way. John knows who I'm talking about, but just be very good. I don't want to say any words, John. Just right. Tina's got a hand up. I'll shut up. Tina, come on.
So just on the fact that we have either poor clients, which is our issue in letting people through that we probably shouldn't work with, but that's stuff that I'm working on now. But I have clients or prospects or people that are haters that will come on and they'll say things on my post or something to that effect. I generally try to use their negativity as a way to show the people that I can handle everything that comes to me from the narcissistic ex that I'm helping my clients divorce. So I use that as an advertising aspect to prove to people that I know how to handle them. And I might say something as simple as, you know, thank you for your comment. And that I'll leave it at that. Or I might have a little bit more to say, and I always finish it with thank you for your 2 cents or your comment. And inevitably it shuts them up. They don't come back and they don't do anything because I truly do thank them for their comment because it gives me an opportunity to prove to people I can handle that other side.
Good point. With or without your black belt.
She's a 5th degree black belt, Mark.
And she needs it too. My goodness, you know, and I wouldn't want to be a fly on the wall with some of the discussions you have to have with people. I mean, it's got to be the most stressful thing in the world, I reckon. What you do with, I just admire you.
When I write out what my ideal client is, nobody would take my ideal client because I want them stressed. I want them concerned. I want them having trouble with their thinking. Those are some of the top 3 things that I put on my list of my perfect client. My job is to take that chaos and that overwhelm and calm it down and pull it into peace. Once I can do that, then we head down the right track. That doesn't mean that there's not hiccups as we move down the road, but my perfect client is definitely not who anybody else would label as their perfect client.
She helps turn them into our perfect client.
That's what I do.
So it's interesting because when you see these people, especially on LinkedIn, LinkedIn's getting worse, right? In terms of the bait and switch, and in terms of spam and God knows what, especially these guys who are SEO specialists or YouTube specialists, okay? I mean, they drive you crazy. Anyway, when people come on there who are purportedly coaches, right? And they're talking about the 7-figure clients they've got and all this sort of palaver, right? And within a nanosecond, shove you this link, come and do this, and you need to do this, you need to do that, without even asking anything. All I simply say to them is, you know, it's people like you that keep me in business. Thank you very much.
He froze on us.
He did.
Peter on.
I have to look at everybody else's head doing this trick to know whether it was Peter or me.
Where are you going, John? How's the house going, my friend?
Well, we'll look at it in the spring because right now we're
snowed under.
Oh yeah, I'm still looking out at a frozen lake. You know, they're still running the screws up and down. I sent Peter a picture with the sign on the lake, stay on this side of the sign so you don't end up, you know, going through the ice or whatever.
Wow.
people are driving across it. And his granddaughter had never seen stuff like that. So I suggested that they watch a show called Ice Road Truckers.
I've seen
And it's
that
all
one. Yes,
about,
unbelievable.
yeah. And Peter couldn't believe they were driving these 18-wheelers
Yeah.
across lakes. And what I said to him, when you're driving on a lake, you have to go slow.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you push water ahead as you're going.
Yeah.
If you're going too fast, when it gets to the other side, it'll bubble up.
Yeah.
And you go through the ice on the other side. That's why on the Ice Road Truckers, it shows a maximum of 10 kilometers or 6 miles an hour. And a couple times on the show, you see the guy actually running along beside his truck. The truck's just barely moving because, the ice was cracking, the guy bailed out, but the truck keeps going. So,
I don't want that job,
Anyway.
thank you.
It's a
it's-
scary
when you-
thing.
When you first drive on the ice roads, it's holy crap. Is this going to hold us? And then after you do it for a while, it's no big deal, right? But the first few times, get out there and then you hear the ice cracking when you're out in the middle of the lake, and it's, oh crap, am I going to take a swim here or what? But it's just the normal cracking. Now, come spring, when you hear it cracking, that's a different story. But in the middle of the winter, that's not all that serious.
Well, we'll
All
go
right,
ahead
guys.
and close this off, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. All the
Sounds
best.
good.
Have a good week.
Okay, ciao.